Glad to have you back with us, Bingers. Welcome in for another edition of The Binge.
It's the Binge Podcast where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast. Come join us fast.
Okay, we're going to talk about modern dating on this week's edition of The Rant.
Cast out the daily grind. Thoughts unleashed, no place to hide. Passion storming every mind. Tune in, tune out, tonight we ride.
Holy shit, what the hell has happened to dating? We've gone from meeting people organically to treating human connection like we're shopping for a new goddamn toaster on Amazon. It's a fucking nightmare out there, and I'm ready to throw my phone into the sea and become a celibate monk. Let's start with these godforsaken dating apps. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. They might as well be called disappointment, frustration, and why do I even fucking bother? It's like a meat market, but instead of prime cuts, we're all just pieces of spam trying to look like filet mignon. And the endless parade of new apps, OkCupid, Coffee Meets Bagel, Plenty of Fish, it's like a buffet of loneliness and desperation. And the profiles. Sweet Jesus H. Christ, the profiles. If I see one more person who's fluent in sarcasm or looking for the gym to my Pam, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Newsflash, Becky. Quoting The Office is not a personality trait, and for the love of all that is holy, what's with all the fish pictures? Is this a dating app or a Bass Pro Shops catalog? I half expect to see good at holding large fish listed under people's skills on resumes at this point. Let's not forget the bios that read like a laundry list of demands. Must be over 6 feet tall, have a 6-figure salary, and look like Chris Hemsworth. Well, excuse me, Your Highness, I didn't realize I was applying for the position of your arm candy. Maybe I should attach my tax returns and a DNA sample while I'm at it. The conversations are like pulling teeth, but less enjoyable. Hey, what's up? How's your week going? Kill me now. I've had more stimulating conversations with my fucking houseplants, and God forbid you actually manage to have a decent chat. Odds are they'll ghost you faster than Casper on cocaine. It's like people have forgotten how to engage in basic human interaction. Whatever happened to asking questions, showing genuine interest, or I don't know, having a fucking personality? And the ghosting. When did it become socially acceptable to just disappear on someone? We're all adults here, for fuck's sake. Use your words. Tell me you're not interested. Hell, tell me I'm an insufferable ass. At least it's closure, but no. Apparently, it's easier to vanish into the ether and leave people wondering what the hell happened. It's emotional blue balls, and it's driving everyone insane. Then there's the whole situationship bullshit. Are we dating? Are we friends? Are we just two lonely souls using each other for occasional companionship and mediocre sex? Who the fuck knows? Heaven forbid we have an actual conversation about our feelings and expectations. No, let's just keep things ambiguous and anxiety-inducing for months on end. It's like we're all playing a game of romantic chicken, waiting to see who'll crack first and admit they have an actual human emotion. And let's talk about the pressure to always be on. You've got to have the perfect profile pic, the wittiest bio, the most interesting life. But it's fucking exhausting. I'm sorry my life isn't a nonstop parade of exotic vacations and music festivals. Some of us have jobs and Netflix subscriptions to maintain, Karen. It's like we're all trying to be our own personal brand, curating our lives for maximum swipeability. Whatever happened to just being yourself? Oh, right. That doesn't get you matches in this superficial hellscape. The worst part is, even if you do manage to score a date, it's like navigating a fucking minefield. Who pays? Is a hug too forward? Should I text right away or wait 3 days like it's 1995? It's enough to make you want to give up and become a hermit. And let's not forget the predate Google stalking. By the time you actually meet, you know their entire life history, their dog's name, and what they had for lunch last Tuesday. Where's the mystery? The excitement of getting to know someone? Gone, replaced by the fear that you'll accidentally like their Instagram post from 2013 while you're deep diving into their past. The horror stories are like a true crime podcast waiting to happen. Catfishing, stalkers, people who look nothing like their photos. I'm just trying to find someone to share my life with, not star in the next fucking Lifetime movie. It's gotten to the point where meeting a stranger from the internet feels like an extreme sport. Tonight on Fear Factor, will your Tinder date be a normal person or a serial killer? Stay tuned to find out. Whatever happened to meeting someone at a bar or through friends or by accidentally running into them at a bookstore like in a rom-com? Now we're all just swiping our lives away, hoping to find a connection in a sea of bathroom selfies and gym pics. It's like we've forgotten how to interact with people in the real world. God forbid you try to strike up a conversation with someone at a coffee shop. They'll probably think you're trying to sell them something or recruit them into a cult. And let's talk about the paradox of choice. With all these apps and endless potential matches, you'd think finding someone would be easier. But no, it's just made us all commitment phobes, always wondering if there's someone better, just one more swipe away. We're treating people like they're upgradable smartphones. Oh, this one's nice. But what if the next model has better features? It's dehumanizing, and it's making us all fucking miserable. The new trends in dating are ridiculous. Breadcrumbing, cushioning, zombieing. It's like we need a whole new dictionary just to navigate this mess. Whatever happened to just, dating someone? Now we're all playing these elaborate mind games, trying to seem interested but not too interested, available but not too available. It's exhausting, and it's turning us all into neurotic messes. And the unsolicited dick pics, for the love of all that is holy, why do men think this is an acceptable form of communication? Newsflash, fellas, your penis is not so spectacular that the mere sight of it will drive women wild with desire. It's not a fucking lightsaber. It's not going to make women swoon. Keep it in your pants unless explicitly asked for, which, let's be real, is probably never. I swear this whole modern dating scene is going to be the death of romance. We're all so busy trying to find the perfect match that we're forgetting how to actually connect with people. And when we do connect, we're too scared of missing out on the next best thing to commit. We're all turning into commitment-phobic, emotionally stunted adults who are more comfortable texting than having an actual conversation. Mark my words, we're heading for a future where AI will be doing our dating for us. And honestly, it might be an improvement. At least the robots won't ghost us, probably. They might be better at holding a conversation, too. Hey Siri, find me a soulmate who won't break my heart or send me unsolicited pictures of their genitals. It's sad when that sounds like an improvement. In conclusion, modern dating is a dumpster fire of epic fucking proportion. It's a soul-crushing, anxiety-inducing, time-wasting endeavor that's turning us all into cynical, jaded shells of human beings. But hey, at least we get some good stories out of it, right? Okay, Bingers, here's the top 10 list this week.
Top 10 time, it's the thrill of the night. Rankings up high, feeling safe flight. Listening close, get ready to climb. We're counting it down, it's top 10 time.
Okay, Bingers, last week we did the top 10 tourist destinations, and this week we're going to do the top 10 overrated tourist attractions. So here we go. 1. The Mona Lisa. It's a tiny fucking painting behind bulletproof glass in a sea of goddamn selfie sticks. Fucking thrilling. You'll spend more time trying to see around people's shitty heads than actually appreciating the art. 2. Times Square. Congrats, you found the world's biggest collection of billboards and costumed creeps. Hope you enjoy being aggressively marketed to while dodging assholes trying to sell you their shitty mixtape. 3. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's a tilted building. Wow, fucking revolutionary. Let's all take the same damn photo. Bonus points if you pretend to hold it up, because that's definitely not overdone, you unoriginal bastards. 4. Stonehenge. A bunch of big-ass rocks in a field. Prepare to be fucking whelmed. You can't even get close to the stones anymore, so enjoy your distant view of prehistoric rocks, you gullible twats. 5. Hollywood Walk of Fame. Nothing says glamour like dirty stars on a grimy-ass sidewalk. Marvel at the names of celebrities you've never heard of while dodging street performers and tourists like it's a fucking obstacle course. 6. Mannequin Peace. It's a small statue of a pissing boy. Really, Brussels? This is your claim to fame? People travel thousands of miles to see a fountain of a urinating child. Let that sink in. 7. Buckingham Palace. Watch some guards in funny hats not move. Riveting shit. Unless you're there for the changing of the guard, in which case, enjoy being crushed by crowds for a glimpse of some choreographed walking. How fucking exciting. 8. Fisherman's Wharf. Overpriced seafood and tacky souvenir shops. San Francisco at its finest. Nothing says authentic local culture like mass-produced keychains and overpriced clam chowder in a bread bowl. Enjoy your tourist traps, suckers. 9. The Little Mermaid statue. It's small, it's underwhelming, and it's usually surrounded by disappointed tourists. Congratulations, you've traveled all the way to Copenhagen to see a statue smaller than your grandmother's fucking garden gnome. 10. Checkpoint Charlie. A replica guardhouse and actors in costume, because nothing says Cold War history like a tourist trap. Enjoy your fake stamp, in your passport, and overpriced communist memorabilia, you gullible shits. That has been our top 10 list. Ridiculous historical facts that sound like complete BS. Hey there, history buffs and casual listeners who are listening to this because the title sounded vaguely interesting. Buckle up because we're about to dive into some historical facts that are so absurd you'll swear we are making this shit up. But trust us, these are 100% real and they're about to make you question everything you thought you knew about the past. That time Australia went to war against emus and lost. No, we're not kidding. In 1932, Australia decided it had had enough of these flightless birds ruining crops and generally being a nuisance. So naturally, they sent in the military. Armed with Lewis guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition, surely they could handle a bunch of birds, right? Wrong. The emus proved to be surprisingly resilient and tactical, splitting into small groups and scattering. After a month, only about 1,000 emus were killed, and the military withdrew in shame. Score: emus 1, Australia 0. But wait, it gets better. The commanding officer, Major G.P.W. Meredith, actually compared the emus to Zulus, praising their ability to maneuver and evade. He reported, "If we had a military division with the bullet-carrying capacity of these birds, it would face any army in the world." So not only did Australia lose a war to birds, but they also inadvertently created the world's first avian special forces. The incident became known as the Great Emu War and remains a hilarious black mark on Australia's military history. The Great Molasses Flood of 1919. Imagine drowning in molasses. Sounds like something out of a cartoon, right? Well, for the residents of Boston in 1919, this was a terrifying reality. A large molasses storage tank burst, sending a wave of sticky sweetness through the streets at 35 miles per hour. The flood killed 21 people and injured 150 more. So the next time someone tells you to move like molasses, remind them that that shit can be deadly. The aftermath was just as bizarre as the event itself. The cleanup took weeks, with the entire harbor turning brown for months. The smell of molasses lingered in the area for years, but the disaster did lead to some positive changes. It resulted in stricter regulations on construction projects and is considered one of the factors that led to the requirement for all engineers to be licensed. So, in a twisted way, this sticky catastrophe actually made buildings safer. Who knew molasses could be a catalyst for civil engineering reform? The Pope put a dead pope on trial. In 1897 AD, Pope Stephen VI decided it would be a great idea to dig up his predecessor, Pope Formosus, who had been dead for months. Why? To put him on trial, of course. The corpse was dressed in papal robes, propped up on a throne, and assigned a deacon to answer for him. Unsurprisingly, the dead pope was found guilty. His punishment? Having 3 fingers cut off and being thrown in the Tiber River. Medieval politics, folks. But the story doesn't end there. The people of Rome were so disgusted by this macabre trial that they deposed Stephen VI, imprisoned him, and later strangled him. Formosus's body, meanwhile, was retrieved from the river by a monk and reburied. Later, Pope John IX annulled the whole trial and had the records burned. This bizarre episode, known as the Cadaver Synod, remains one of the most outrageous moments in papal history. It's like a medieval version of Weekend at Bernie's, but with more religious zealotry and less comedy. The Great Hanoi Rat Massacre. In the early 1900s, French colonists in Hanoi had a brilliant idea to deal with the rat problem. Pay people for each rat tail they brought in. What could go wrong? Well, enterprising locals started breeding rats for their tails. Some even went as far as to cut off rats' tails and release them back into the sewers to breed more rats. The result? More rats than ever. Congratulations, you played yourself, French colonists. This fiasco is a perfect example of what economists call the Cobra effect, named after a similar incident in colonial India involving snakes. It's when an attempted solution to a problem actually makes the problem worse. The French authorities eventually caught on to the scam when they noticed an unusual number of tailless rats scurrying around the city. They scrapped the bounty program, but not before inadvertently creating a booming rat breeding industry. It's a reminder that sometimes the road to a rat-infested hell is paved with good intentions and poorly thought-out politics. The Dancing Plague of 1518. Imagine a town where people suddenly start dancing and can't stop. Sounds like the plot of a cheesy musical, right? Nope, this actually happened in Strasbourg in 1518. It started with one woman dancing in the street and ended with hundreds of people dancing non-stop for days. Some even danced themselves to death. Theories range from ergo poisoning to mass hysteria, but whatever the cause, it gives a whole new meaning to dance like nobody's watching. The authorities' response to this crisis was interesting, to say the least. Instead of trying to stop the dancing, they encouraged it, believing that the afflicted would only recover if they danced it out of their systems. They even built a wooden stage and hired musicians to keep the party going. At its peak, the plague had about 400 people dancing day and night. It only stopped when the dancers were taken to a shrine to pray for divine intervention. This incident remains one of the most bizarre cases of mass hysteria in history, proving that sometimes life really is stranger than fiction. It also serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of encouraging people to dance until they drop. Literally. So there you have it, folks. 5 historical facts that prove truth is stranger than fiction, and that our ancestors were just as weird and messed up as we are today. Next time you think the world has gone crazy, just remember, it's always been this way. We're just better at documenting the madness now. And hey, at least we're not putting corpses on trial or waging war against emus. Yet. If you like this episode, please consider liking and subscribing.
Tune in right now. Got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Right now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Tune in right now. Stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast. podcast where everything's a blast. It's the Binge podcast, come join us fast.